Hello and welcome to Flippin' Through the Internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping live. We're flipping through two great I don't know, great. That's a bit much. Definitely a bit much for this one. I don't know. I think this one has a fairly good reputation. Um, we're flipping through Parody and Panic, not the Panic from EC Comics, the direct competitor, in-house competitor to Mad Magazine, but I don't know, something else that I don't really know that much about. But before I do, make sure you guys leave a comment in the chat if you're watching live. Um, and I'm going to give you some shout outs. If you're watching for the very first time, please remember, hit like, hit subscribe. All right. It's check. Make sure you're still subscribed. Why? I don't know. Sometimes I get unsubscribed from channels that I like to watch. If you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippin through. That's how you can support me. You don't really get much. Wait, what do you get? Where's the stuff? Oh yeah, here it is. What do you get? You get a 6 set of stickers. Give me any amount. I had somebody join up my Patreon, and then I sent the stickers, and I said, "Stickers are on their way," and then they unsubscribed. Whatever, that's fine. I got a couple bucks from them. That was cool. Support me at, like, I don't know, $5 or something. You can get this, the Mad stencil, 3D printed at my home. All right, I printed this. My hands have touched it, and it looks really cool when you go into face things with it. Look at this. That's pretty sick. Anyway, let's see who's here. Who's in the chat? Hey, little cozy nostril. Hey, Ed, how's your mom? Not sure. I'm not sure if that's like a slight, if that's like some kind of schoolyard taunting that Kyle Bridget's undertaking. Shane Buckley, what's up? Good evening to you. Angel Acevedo, how are you? Hola. Um, does it Angel? Can you speak Spanish? I shouldn't assume. Harvey Esquire is here. Yo to you. And I think, oh no, of course, Sticks McFly. Oh, sorry for any confusion last time. I had a gig that night and left a comment the day before. I wouldn't be here, but you're here now, and that is what matters. I appreciate it. I subscribed, and now there's almost 600 of us. Coincidence? I don't think so. No. Well, I mean, it's a little bit of a logical fallacy. You guys know, post hoc ergo propter hoc. After this, therefore, because of this. Shane Buckley subscribed. I'm almost at 600. Anyway, a last minute change. It was going to be me, just me all by my lonesome here in the studio. Wait. And then I got a message. I got a message from friend of the show, Noah Van Sciver, and he is joining us this evening. So please give him a round of applause as I welcome him onto the stream. Noah, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I was waiting.
Yeah.
You need sound effects with like a applause.
That's a really good idea. I wonder if I could do that, right?
Sure.
Yeah. I could figure that out. Like lesser shows than mine have probably figured that out. So
I'm here because I'm really curious about this comic you're going to be looking at, because I know only of Panic from the EC comic. I didn't know there was another version, like a Brand X weird.
yeah. That's the Panic I was familiar with. And I was at my comic shop. What comic shop do I go to? Comic Book College. And it's like very clearly not the same thing. Like, because they never made the transition. There was only like 12 issues of that.
Yeah. I have this.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
So
Look
this
at
is
that.
the first 4 issues. And then I have the slipcase hardcover Russ Cochran collection of Panic, but it's all black and white stuff. It's from the 80s.
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer. The so many of like the Russ Cochran ones, they just printed them in black and white.
Yeah.
Because I got the it was after the Comics Code, and I got the one with the what was it? The I forget the artist's name. I should remember it, but the Master Race.
Oh,
He did that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernard Krigstein. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I opened it up, I was just like totally deflated. I didn't look at it in the shop. I was just like, well, this is what I want. Give it to me. And
Right.
I was kind of bummed.
Wait. This is the Russ Cochran edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing though. Like as an artist, I actually kind of appreciate the black and white ones because you can really see the drawing.
Yeah.
You know. So I like to see but I also want the color versions too. So I buy those Fantagraphics editions, how they reprint each artist. They collect all their EC work just in black and white.
Yeah.
So that I can like really study like how they draw. But then I also get like the Gemstone or Dark Horse collections of EC
Yeah.
in color, even though that coloring it's like pretty bad. It's really computery.
Yeah.
Terrible.
The before we go any further, we actually somebody else has wandered in. We have some, I don't know, some vagrant has come in from the cold. Look at it's.
Oh, hello.
Oh, he's reading that. Why do you have that, dude?
This?
Yeah, that's really old.
Yeah, I feel like I picked it up at like in London like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Hold it up. What is that?
It is pretty old.
I didn't write it. I just drew it. It was like some local writer.
It's some like really high-end zine.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been kicking around my shelf for like, it must be close to 10 years. Like
you could probably sell it
on
eBay for $300.
Oh, really?
No, I don't.
Excuse me. Well, go to eBay.
Yeah.
I tell you, I paid $7.49. So
okay, great.
Look at that.
Thanks a lot. I'll wait. I'm waiting for my royalties still.
I think it was secondary market.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, we're talking about what were we talking about just now?
Oh, we were just talking about
the
EC
reprints
and the reprints. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's those Russ Cochran ones? What you were talking about before, or this is the Gemstone ones? Yeah.
Yeah, and these are like this recoloring is like nice. I think this looks good.
Yeah.
It's like flat, and they don't do like the airbrushing thing is what bothers me on those recolors of the. Yeah. Oh,
these ones are not good.
Yeah. Well, I still buy those, but it's just the coloring is garish. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. I don't know what they're thinking.
And they're like $50 each, man. Those books are expensive.
Who puts those out?
They just know the people who buy them are the people who are going to buy them no matter what, you know. So they got us hooked.
I think it's Dark Horse that puts them out.
All right. But yeah, what's nice about the Russ Cochran ones, because the Mad ones are all printed full color. I don't know like how they decided what to do black and white and what to do color.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's great. They did like I think it's like the original coloring that they captured, and it looks fantastic. And like you'll notice some of them, because I'm going through all of them to look up like Wally Wood stuff, and they'll have ones that were like slightly off register, you know. So it's like I don't think they were colored after the fact by somebody else.
Yeah, that's cool. I'd like to see those. I'm just buying those. DC Comics put out like the hardcover like complete Mad books. It's like I don't know how many volumes there are, maybe 4 or something. It's like I think it's just the Harvey Kurtzman stuff.
That's the best collection ever. I love it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I just got those from eBay, and I'm waiting for them to show up at my house.
They're gorgeous. It's like great coloring.
Oh, okay.
It's not like Panic at all. I bought those Panics assuming like, oh, of course it'll be like their Mad ones, but they didn't put the effort in.
It's like on glossy. I also have I don't like glossy paper for comic books. Like if I can avoid it. Yeah, it doesn't look. I don't like the glare.
Yeah.
When I'm reading a comic, I don't like glare on it. You know, like a magazine and stuff like that. Like
you have to like tilt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. And the coloring doesn't look good. Like I like the Mads that are printed on newsprint in the the era that Kyle and I came from, where it's all magazines and then there's like a Capri Sun ad right next to your comic.
Or like corn nuts.
Yeah, corn nuts. Yeah, or like some extreme Mountain Dew. It's like some awful.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk ad.
During that whole era, I would have trouble. I'd pick them up on the newsstand, and I wouldn't be able to tell like what's an ad and what's making fun of an ad. I found it very upsetting, you know.
Well, I'll actually point one out. This is the issue that I'm doing. Like, it's coming out tomorrow, the one that I did a video on. And so they have here, I might just do the overhead. And then wait, can I do it right? Christ, what's the problem? Okay. There we go. So it's an Altoids ad with Spy versus Spy. But then I had done a video and they had made fun of this whole ad campaign. And instead of Altoids, it was steroids. And it had I don't know, one of those, like, who's the ginger guy who hit all the home runs? It was like
Archie
McGuire.
Yeah, Mark McGuire.
Yeah, so it had Mark McGuire on it. It just said steroids. And it was from the exact same era. And then there's this where they're using mad characters to promote Altoids themselves.
That's really weird, man, because I just watched like an interview with Bill Gaines where he explained why he didn't want ads in Mad. It's because he's like, we can't make fun of Coca-Cola and then have a Pepsi ad in our magazine, or, you know.
Yeah.
It'll look really crooked.
Well, why
I feel Mad, like, you know, had a really special place in my heart growing up because it was one of the few bits of media that I consumed that wasn't, you know, trying to like sell me some schlock, you know, like TV advertised to me movies. Like I came up in the era when, like, you know, like before the Batman movie, he's like going to McDonald's or whatever, you know, like, and then you have Mad, and it's this thing. It's, you know, it feels pure. The only thing it's advertising is itself, you know.
Yeah. So do you guys remember this cover from the '90s? I can't remember if it was Mad or Cracked, but I think it was Cracked. But it was Barney in Jurassic Park.
I think it was Cracked.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of those things that like is stuck in my brain because that era was all Jurassic Park for me. That's like the only thing I care about. It's like you get like one movie and you love that movie so much that like anything else, like the parodies. Like I heard somebody talking about why they love Spaceballs so much, and it's because like after Star Wars had come out, that was it. That's like no more Star Wars movies. There were the three. And then Mel Brooks puts out Spaceballs, and it's like you go nuts for it because you're like, it's like another Star Wars, you know? And that's how it was for Jurassic Park. Like Cracked. Look at this. They're making fun of Jurassic Park. You gotta have it.
One of like the things as far as like not having advertisers go, it's to me the annoying thing about the acquisition of Mad by Warner Brothers, or I guess like the vertical integration, because you had things. It's that same concept of like, how can you make fun of a Coca-Cola if you're advertising Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Like you would have a Mad look at, you know, Wonder Woman, and it's, you know, a couple months after the Wonder Woman movie came out, and it's like, I know, but that's the same company that owns you, and so you're not going to go that hard after it.
Yeah.
You know, not that like a Mad look at was the most biting satire that ever existed, but it's, I think, the same concept of, I don't know, keeping it pure or something.
Hey,
I feel it affects how they go after Marvel too, right? Because it's like, you know, you can kind of be irreverent with your own properties or whatever, but then when you're kind of using Marvel stuff, it's like it almost feels like they're stealing now instead of just parodying, you know?
Yeah.
Like in a sense, because it's like, oh well, we can draw Spider-Man too, you know, even though we're DC.
Yeah.
What about, do you guys have this book?
Wait. Here, I'll do you solo. What is that? Mad Art?
Mad Art.
No, what is that?
It's this book by Mark Evanier, and it's a look at like every artist that's like ever worked for Mad. Has like a page, like a profile.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And it goes all the way up until I think 2006, 2005 or 6.
You guys didn't make the cut.
No, we didn't make it, but Bill Ray's in there with Monroe, which was like a great. Did you guys like Monroe, that comic?
Dude.
Yeah.
Listen, Noah, you just played your hand, man. I know you don't watch every single video I put out.
Why? What did you?
I suck Monroe's dick
Oh,
every time it comes up. Yeah, I love it. It's like,
that's great.
Oh, that era that was like my era with Monroe, and then there was one of the Melvin and Jenkins. too, which is like that screwed up Goofus and Gallant from Highlights. Yeah, I just so much of the like the characters, like the mom and stuff, like I could draw that from memory. It's like burned into my mind. I love that comic so much.
Why didn't they collect that? I mean, I guess they don't collect any of that stuff, but Monroe just kind of disappeared. Like nobody talks about it or anything. It's just
Yeah, you think you could put like a graphic novel almost, like a collection of them. There must be a lot.
yeah, there must be.
Well, I saw Kyle forwarded me a bunch of Facebook drama involving Bill Ray. And
yeah.
one of the things, like somebody had on a comment said, like, why haven't they collected Monroe? And like his response is like, I have no idea. It seems like it would be printing money.
Yeah.
I would for sure buy. I don't buy a lot of like peripheral Mad things. Like that Mad art book sounds really cool, but I don't buy a lot of that stuff. I would buy a Monroe book, like without hesitation.
Well, that in our ad book you'd buy, I assume.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Did we came up with an idea for Mad advertising spoofs, like a coffee table book, and you take something like I think it was the Hertz or Avis ad where the guy like jumps over the into the convertible and then he lands and like hits his nuts on the stick shift. And then we compare that to like the original advertisement or like that series of ads so people can kind of see. Because like somebody like me, I'm a spring chicken. I don't understand any of those references, so it's all lost. But I think that would be kind of a cool one. And you could collect all that beautiful advertising art that those Mad guys emulated.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That stuff was incredible. Those early Will Elder ad parodies he did, he could paint like Norman Rockwell. He's like really incredible.
He's a genius.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be a good one. I buy, like I just bought the Mad Bathroom Companion.
Oh yeah,
a big chunky book. Like I love those, just giant omnibuses of Mad comics. I still buy Mad stuff whenever I see it.
Yeah,
I picked one up the other day that was Mad about comic strips, I think.
Okay.
It was okay. Yeah, it was cheap. That's why I got it. But
Yeah, it's good. There's good stuff in there though. Is that where like Wally Wood will draw like a Peanuts? Strip?
Yeah, there's a lot of like Wally Wood, and Elder and stuff there. I was actually hoping it wouldn't be mostly that because I have that like 4-volume set of Mad, so it's like I have all that stuff. So
yeah. Oh, I don't know. Like today I was at the comic shop this morning and there was that giant hardcover of like Don Martin comics.
Oh yeah, it's like all sleeved and everything.
Yeah. It's like $100 for it. I'm not gonna do that right now, but I'd like to have that. That's pretty great. Like
the one Mad book that I'm like, I wish I would have bought it at the time. Is I think IDW put it out, but it's the Mad Artist Edition.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, that's like because now it's very expensive now. It was like $100 to start with.
Yeah,
but
it's huge. It's huge, really isn't it? It's like a big tombstone.
It's giant. Yeah, I have to put it on. I have this desk here slant. I put it on there like a, like a musician would put their their little hymn book or whatever. Yeah, and I just stare at that thing, and I just will like flip through it and have it open sometimes when I'm working in it because I just like to stare at that stuff. It's really inspiring when you're doing your own work, and you just can't even believe that they were putting that much. I mean, they're such masters back then. Like, no, I don't know of any artists really. I mean, how do you ever do anything like that? And they were just doing it and collecting a paycheck,
They all went to that same high school in New York.
Yeah, they're all geniuses. It's unbelievable. You know what my favorite? I know we're going super off topic here, but like one of my favorite Mad parodies ever was Bringing Up Father, where they do like the Will Elder comic, and it's the cartoon, and then the next page is Krigstein, and it's the cartoon characters, but they're drawn more realistically, and it's like it's showing like what I'm talking about, Kyle.
Because like the domestic violence is sort of displayed. In like a naturalistic kind of style that like really highlights how awful it is.
Yeah.
And then like the next panel will be back to like,
Well, it's like it's funny that like his wife is throwing plates at him, and then you turn the next page and it's drawn realistically, and he's like on the floor with like broken plates all around him. Like, oh,
There's like blood coming from his face. Yeah.
It's like more serious.
Yeah, it's funny because he's domestically abused.
Yeah.
But that's a joke, right? Like,
Wait,
in that book.
how many comic strips were based on that premise of a woman just beating the shit out of her husband?
Andy Capp is all about abuse. And everything.
But
always has a rolling
pin. Is kind of like that too, you know.
Yeah. You know, these people are all. I was just having a conversation with a guy at the comic shop today about like EC Comics and how these are artists who were all like, not even just EC Comics, but comics back then. Like these are all people who are coming back from the war and they all have PTSD, and they're just told to like just get married and start a family and stuff. And they have this. They haven't worked out what's even going on, and they are taking out in their artwork. So like all the covers are like guys like murdering their wives and stuff. Like it's like choking out their wife. Like all the stories are about that and stuff.
Yeah.
It's because like they're like, you know, they're not ready for this. They're working out so much stuff, you know. They're doing it.
I don't think I ever really thought about like how the effect the trauma of that would have on, you know, their the bloodlust in their work, you know.
Yeah. Well, there's like, do you ever see like those EC, like most of the EC covers? If you look at them, like the horror covers, it's like domestic murder and stuff. Like there's
like shock suspense stories has the one where it's just you just see the woman's head, the guy. It's like waist high. He's holding her head, and you see the bloody axe, and in the background is just her body.
Yeah,
and it's like it's gruesome. I saw that.
That's the one Gaines talked about during the hearing on, like during the hearings on comics it went on. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but like that was one of the comics that they showed to Gaines in court.
Yeah.
Or in his deposition or whatever. And they're like, you think this is in good taste? And he's like, yeah, I do for a horror comic. If it was held a little bit higher and you saw that severed neck, that would be inappropriate.
Well, there's another one where it's like Christmas morning and it's a coffin underneath the Christmas tree. And the wife is looking at like, oh, and the note on it says like, for my loving wife. And the husband's right behind her with an axe. Holy shit. There you go, kids, comics.
Oh my god. Listen, I remember seeing that, the one with where he's holding her head, and I was like, I don't know, maybe Wortham had a good point. I don't know, maybe they should.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's a lot of like, I'm a father. Like, would I want my kids reading the comic? Like another one is like a guy choking his wife out on a boat, like when he has her head underwater.
Yeah. You know, here's something though that's like, I think people lose appreciation for. Like during that time period, you would also get though like automobile wrecks would be photographed and like printed on the front page of the newspaper. So it's not like this was totally out of left field and everything was, you know, appropriate. Like a kid walking by the newsstand is going to see like, you know, Chicago gangsters gunned down, and then also a colorful decapitation.
Yeah.
But adults were reading these things too, right? Like it's not like
presumably
the way they try to frame it is like it was only for kids, and like they were hawking them in the sleaziest possible way. But you know, adults were reading these things too, and it's just people were kind of ashamed of it, so you didn't really talk about it.
Yeah, I learned a fun fact this morning was that, you know, Charles Adams of the Adams family, one of his jobs was to touch up those gruesome photos. His job was to touch them up so they were less gruesome before print.
Yeah.
He would be drawing like a blanket over a body at a car wreck or something. You know?
Oh my god, that's so bizarre. The what you touched on it like real briefly a while ago, and that's like the mastery of their craft that those guys at EC had. And I've been like going through like Wally Wood stuff. I'm working on a little video for that about Wallace Wood, and so I'm reading all of his things in a really different way and like focusing a lot more on the art. And that guy, like, you'll see like in a panel, it'll be not in a panel, but like on a page, he'll have like the brushing, and then he'll have the craft tint, you know, where it like exposes the lines, and then he'll also be using like Zipatone. and he's using so many things, and it just all comes together. It's insane. And I was like kind of comparing that to like, like Jack Davis or Elder. Elder didn't use any of those like other tools, it seems.
Yeah.
And then Jack Davis would use them kind of sparingly, but I don't know, Wood seemed to really get a lot out of them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wood, have you ever seen this?
What is this? Bold Stories? No, I have not.
I've never seen that.
So this is like a really, this is just reprinted. They did, I think there's 2 books in here, and it was like an attempt. Wally Wood is one of the artists in it, but it's like an attempt to do like comics for adults. I think this came out in like the 30s or something, because adults, they tended to read either little pocket joke books where it'd be like single comics, kind of like Playboy style.
Yeah. Like Beaver Goodman.
So this was like an attempt at that. And it's like a really weird sort of thing where it's like actually comics, but it's like, it's highly sexualized. It's for adults. There's not quite nudity in it, but
yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
it's kind
good.
of an oddball thing. You can read it online.
Where'd you find that? Is that like one of those Amazon print on demand things?
This is a Guandanaland reprint, which like, I mean, they are what they are, but it's like a company, and they like take these scans, and they sort of, I think they're not quite print on demand. Like they make them print on demand, obviously, because they're that kind of cheap, perfect bound format. And so it depends on what their scans are like. These ones are pretty good, especially considering I think they enlarged this. But it's just whatever titles they have out. And so they're the kind of place you go to when you want to have something in print, but can't find it anywhere else, especially for golden age stuff.
That's pretty cool. I've never heard of that before. I'm interested in reading that.
Yeah.
You can read, if you go on Comic Book Plus, I don't know if you've ever been on that site, or the Digital Comic Museum, I think it's called. You can just read Golden Age comics. They've got really nice scans.
Okay.
And I think both those books, it's Bold, and then the other one is Bold Stories, and I think there's another one in here.
Yeah, this is Comic Book Plus.
And
they do like, it's kind of a bad website. It's like hard to navigate.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's like, Internet 1.0. But like, look at Wiz Comics, 12 issues. And it is like pretty high quality scans that they do. Well, this one isn't great, but
it depends on the book, but some of them are really nice. And the other one is Digital Comic Museum, which is like the same sort of thing, but it's a forum. But they have like a reader, and they probably have them on there too. They might have some panics on there actually. Like the panic that we're looking at today is Bob Powell's panic.
Okay. See, something about this. We're saying I've never seen this.
I've read one of them. I've read one issue, not the issue we're looking at here. But.
So Bob Powell, famous Wall of Flesh cartoonist.
Yeah, and it's a Farrell, like Farrell Comics.
Yeah.
Robert Farrell. So
Bob Powell was great. It was a great horror cartoonist. That's why I don't know him as a humor cartoonist.
Well, I was gonna go through this one first because it might be shit.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is it might be a fun guessing game because they don't do any attribution to the artists or the writers. So it might be a quick flip through. But should we start digging into this?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Oh, God damn it.
This one is on the archive, on archive.org. So I actually have flipped through this digitally.
Yeah. So, look at this beautiful, like, who set this up? Who designed this cover?
It's pretty bad.
But you got like a Modern Scream, little ab nerd, and then a pinup poster.
Little ab nerd.
But this is the one I assume they do this like the Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
But I think there's Viviano in here, and I think that's Sam Viviano right there.
Yeah.
Right? That looks like his style.
I think he's got a couple articles in here.
Yeah. But these guys, look at they push the envelope a little bit. Look at here. Let me zoom in on some of this. This is a family show, so you know, hide the kids. Look at that. Is it not zooming? Oh wait, there we go. You know what I'm saying, guys? All right.
I think there's some. I think there might be a couple cracked artists in here.
Oh wait.
God.
Yeah, here's Hoppy Days.
What a ripoff! Oh my God! This is
Yeah, it's
awful. Wow. This is really awful.
but they got the you know, they do like that real. Oh, this is Rodenwald. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's a Canadian. He's a Canadian artist. He's kind of doing his best Mort Drucker here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny too because they're also doing that weird square.
Yeah, that's what I
word
mean.
balloons.
In the text and everything. Like it's just like you rip offs. It's like that's really sad. Wow.
Well, even the byline of this magazine parody, it's entertainment for clods.
Oh,
I feel like clod, that's like very much like a mad kind of word.
Yeah.
I know that word from there was a book of Robert Crumb's letters when he was like a young man. You must
Your
have seen
vigor
that,
for
right?
life appalls
Yeah,
me.
and he was always calling his friend a clod. That's how I found out about that word.
Wait. So like in this like little memoir he wrote, he's just constantly referring to him as.
Well, it's like a collection of the letters that he would send to his teenage friend when he was like in high school. Like letters he would send to his other high school friends or whatever. Like, and they'd be talking about their comics, like their comic collections, like what issues of Mad they're looking for and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he'd always say like, you know, this so and so is a clod or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Never heard that word before that.
He must have thought he was so fucking clever.
You have that book, right, Kyle?
Yeah, it's Your Vigor for Life Appalls Me.
Yeah, it's good.
Your vigor
Right
for
here.
life appalls. I'm assuming that is a line from one of his letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this more. Whoop. God damn! I have to learn which button does which. There we go.
I mean, I think he's doing a pretty heroic imitation of Drucker, you know? That's about all I can say.
Oh, God. You know what I have a question about? And this is apropos of, well, I guess, doing like knockoffs or like impersonating somebody's style. So there was, I was watching YouTube today and I watch Formula One racing, and Red Bull just revealed their car, and they had this guy, Mr. Doodle, like draw all over their car. Have you seen him?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
he does like the Keith Haring doodles. I mean, he's got a real shtick to him, but you got to hand it to the guy. You know, he's made a real career for himself, and I use him. I sometimes teach a class called Doodling for Adults.
Yeah.
And like I'll show his stuff in there, and it's pretty hypnotic to watch him draw because he's a machine. It's like an old printer just like going across, and he's just got all the shapes and everything kind of down.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Like when I saw it, I was like, this looks like it's like he's doing Keith Haring.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, like how Keith Haring, like when did he stop doing art? Like 40 years ago or something?
Oh my God, look at that. Jeez. Yeah, Keith Haring's estate should reach out to this guy.
Yeah. But he's huge. He's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, 2.7 million followers on Instagram. But I was kind of blown away by it because, I mean, I wonder, if I can put together that connection of like Keith Haring and this guy, I'm assuming most people could then. But I don't know. It was just popped into my head.
Wait, what does he have to do with Formula One racing?
Oh, okay. So, all right. So Red Bull put out, they took one of their cars and they just had it painted white. and then he came in and he did his little doodles and covered the entire Formula One car.
Wow.
And it looked kind of cool. And it was like watching him do it is impressive because he's just like goes. But yeah, it was I don't know. All right. I took us on a dumb tangent. I apologize, everybody.
I'm learning things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's edification.
Mm-hmm.
And here's like, yeah, but anyway, that's like sort of cracked style. And by that I mean like poor quality.
Ugly is the word.
Oh, ugly. That's yeah.
Dissonant.
Yeah.
Is that the word? Yeah. It's discordant. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's outsider art. It's Cracked Magazine and Grandma Moses. But here we have like what I don't know what this is, like how to put the unemployed back to work again. Remove the Rockies. Defrost Alaska.
Wow.
I mean, it's not especially funny, but there is like I'm charmed by a good amount of this art, I will say.
Yeah. No, the art's great. I mean, I don't have a problem with the art. It's just it's so dumb. Like, get rid of the Rockies.
Here we have, what is this one? Can the Great Rivers. One way to preserve America's fast depleting clean water is to can it, as you would strawberry jam. Once canned, it would be returned to the riverbeds, remaining clean and pure until pollution is eliminated. Can openers naturally will be banned. So
I'm numb.
I don't know. That got a genuine chuckle out of me. I don't know.
Really?
There's Viviano.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Viviano doing his thing.
It's like you almost can't tell. Like you look at Stallone and it's pretty obvious, but you look at Liz Taylor and it's like he hadn't worked out drawing women yet or something in his style.
Yeah. I wonder if this is pre or post Bananas.
I think this I would guess before. This is hold on, I've got it up here on the archive. Let's see. 77.
77?
That's what it says on the archive. And just in terms of style, like I feel like Bananas looked like his style, and this there's a cracked artist, I can't remember what his name is, but he also does those big sort of like jaw lines.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, until I actually found Viviano's signature somewhere in here, I was kind of not 100% sure which one it was.
I imagine with a lot of this art, they were like, they just used the text boxes to cover up the artist's signature. Because there's a lot of them where it's like, where is it? Did they not, want credit, or was editorial deliberately trying to? I don't know.
Well, Viviano signed his work, so he wanted the credit.
Well, I don't see any signature. That's my point.
I think it is actually in here somewhere. I think I found it.
Yeah.
Little Abner.
Kind of like.
That's awesome. I like that one.
Yeah.
I think that is Tony Tallarico, who did the like Find Freddy, Look for Lisa, Search for Susie, Hunt for Hector, all those like knockoff Where's Waldo books that that are not very good. The first four have some charm to those, but I was obsessed with them. I loved them.
Hunt for Hector.
Canadian, that's why.
Oh, you guys get different stuff. That's right.
You guys get different stuff. You didn't get Where's Waldo.
Well, we got Where's Waldo as well. But they're sub Where's Waldo. Like Where's Waldo's, Martin Hanford's working on a different level.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Tony Tallarico, he goes back to the golden age, and he's just kind of like he just gets, you see him, he gets odd jobs, and he's just not great,
dude.
I was just showing. I don't know why. I just pulled this off the shelf because I actually really like Little Abner a lot, so it's funny.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Fearless Fosdick.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Did Al Cap did Gasoline Alley, right?
No, he just did Little Abner.
Who did Gasoline Alley? Who am I thinking? Frank King?
Yeah.
See, I'm ignorant as hell.
Well, Gasoline Alley is one of the greatest comic strips of all time.
So I should maybe know the guy who did it. Look at this. You guys just produce.
This is not even the good Gasoline Alley either. I mean, this is good. This isn't the great Gasoline Alley. This is like, this is Dick Moore's. Actually, Dick Moore's is pretty good, but the Frank King stuff is the stuff you got to get.
Jeez,
there must be a great like large, because he was doing like that tabloid sized, like platinum age newspaper stuff, you know?
Yeah, there's a book. There's a book that reprints all the Sundays, or not all of them, but like a best of the Sundays. Yeah. You have that, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, I don't have it. I was just wondering. There must be one that's like worth getting.
Yes, there's 3 of them. So there's one that Sunday Press put out, which is like the good one. It's a best of, and then there's 2 of them that Dark Horse put out, which are they were going to do like they're going to do a complete run of all the Sundays, and they only did 2 volumes, and then they canceled it. So,
bummer.
Yeah, the Sunday Press one is worth getting. It's amazing.
That's the way to go.
Would they do the dailies too?
Yeah, the dailies were collected by Drawn and Quarterly, and they're called Walton Skeezix instead of Gasoline Alley because of some copyright thing.
Huh.
Well, those have some really good like sort of like didn't they bring in like some like pretty fancy like
Chris Ware,
editors and stuff? Yeah,
amazing. I mean, those are some of my favorite. I read those collections like a novel. Like I eat them up when they come out. They're so good. It's the greatest comic ever.
The only old comic book that I give a shit about, or old comic strip, is Mandrake the Magician.
Really? I've never read it.
It's not that great, but I just like him. He's a magician, and he gazes hypnotically all the time, and he like makes people see stuff.
Okay, yeah, I would read it. I like all that stuff, you know.
There's a parody in the one of the Mad comics, like one of the early, like that'll be in that 4-volume set. They do a Mandrake magician parody. It's quite good.
Yeah, he was huge. He was the first superhero, really.
Yeah, I know that in Action Comics #1, they had like a rip-off version of Mandrake.
Yeah.
Story of can't remember what it's called. I just got the Action Comics #1 like reprint that they put out in comic shops recently, and they just like it's a facsimile of the issue, and there was like some bullshit like magician character with a top hat and stuff. And like, all right, I get it.
Yeah,
I know what you're up to.
Dude, I was kind of put off by like some of those facsimile copies are so expensive.
Yeah, not these though. These are just like $5. They're just, you know.
I guess that's like so expensive.
Is it?
I mean,
it's expensive, I guess.
To me, it's like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. They're like the one I saw. I think it was like $5.99 or maybe even $7 or something.
Oh yeah.
But it just feels like you're just reprinting. You're not paying anybody this. There's no page rate that you have to give anybody. Like,
there it is.
Yeah. How much was that?
It was $7. Yeah, you're
right. Yeah, I'm a cheapskate, man.
Let me see.
It'd be like $10 Canadian.
Yeah, so this is the fake ass Mandrake the Magician character, Zatara, the master.
Zatara. Oh no, Zatara. Well, I guess that is, but Zatara, like that went on. He's the father of Zatanna, and his whole thing was he'll read like Zatanna's magic. I think she got this from her father. I'm really into magicians.
Yeah.
I guess what they'll do is they'll say everything backwards. And so in the word balloons, it'll be like totally inverted. So if you want to see what their spell is doing, you read it backwards and it'll be like, close the door. It's kind of a fun little like visual trick for conveying magic that's happening.
But that's not like a wannabe version of Mandrake. It's its own.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it is like that could be like the cynical view, but maybe they were just like, you know what, we admire Mandrake. Maybe we should maybe it's homage.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in like the comic books, like Mandrake, he's a strip, but in
Yeah.
like the comic books, that's kind of just like almost like a trope character, right? Because there's also Mr. Mystery, who I particularly hate, and
I thought you were gonna say fond of. I thought we each had our own magician that we were gonna back.
He shouldn't exist. He sucks. But he's more like a host, like a horror host.
Yeah.
But he's got the same sort of magician outfit, you know.
The little cape
Sort of,
and the hat.
yeah, he's got the cape and the hat, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I like those facsimile comics. I try and pick them up whenever I see them. You know, like the old ones. Like this is good. You know, just to
Yeah.
be able to see like what kids are reading.
Must be fun to hold too, you know, like.
Yeah.
They are fun. I got that you know, the Green Arrow Green Lantern that Denny O'Neil and yeah, like I forget what number it was, but it was a famous one with the guy had the needle hanging it out of his arm. It was, my ward is a junkie.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I would get that too.
Yeah, I picked that one up. It is fun to like have one that you aren't going to be timid about reading. Like I have older comics and I feel like worried about reading them. You know, it's like I don't want to take my Punisher first appearance out and like sit on the couch and read it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. So,
Is that what Beach was parodying in Brat Pack?
Do you know what this is? Squatron?
No.
Yeah, it was like a fanzine, wasn't it?
Yeah,
basically?
it's like the official like EC Comics fanzine.
Oh, cool.
I pick these up when I can find them for cheap on eBay. They get pretty expensive, but there's like a lot of great interviews in here with the artists and stuff talking about EC Comics. And this is like the newest issue that just came out with George Evans. That's like a really good George Evans stuff.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So
did he freeze? Did I freeze? Kyle, are you there?
Yeah,
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not frozen.
Am I moving? Let me know if I'm moving. If I'm moving, I'm not frozen.
You're moving.
Okay,
I see movement. Wait, did you say that Squatron? That one like just came out?
Yeah, it just came out. Fantagraphics published it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so they're still doing it, but like everybody's dead now. So it's like it's kind of like you get the impression they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for like content on EC Comics at this point. So they like interviewed Russ Heath, who had only done one story for EC Comics, I think.
Yeah. It was. I was reading like well, Kyle, you sent it to me. This correspondence between Wallace Wood and just like a fan that just became his pen pal, and it was kind of interesting. I think it was like in the early '80s, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to a convention. EC is dead. What don't people get? For some reason, they still want to see me and everybody else." And it was kind of cool because he was like, Krigstein was there, and I don't know, he talked real smart, and I just agree with him, so that people won't ask me anything.
That's cool. Well, it must have been weird because EC Comics was like 10 years. I mean, there was like a 10-year period, right, where they were making like all the good stuff, and then turned into Mad, but people are like so obsessed with that 10-year output. It must have been weird to be like one of the artists involved with that. You're just like, what the fuck? Move on, you nerds.
I mean, Gaines kind of like he sort of like cultivated that though, because like he made sure that the fans knew who the artists were. They had the EC fan club. I don't know if you've ever seen the pin, you know, the famous EC fan club pin. Fan Addict, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I think part of that was and Klaus kind of touches on this with Dan Pussy, is like it kind of insulates him a little bit from criticism because it's like, oh, it's the artists that are drawing it. There's their names. But you know, it created that fan culture around them. Unlike someone like Carl Barks or something, where it's like people only discovered his name years later, you know, like
and it helps that like a lot of the people that were reading those comics turned out to be like famous directors and writers and things like that. Like
they were the best, right? Like basically also helps.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to bring up is like, to your point earlier about like adults must have been reading it, because I like comparing what EC was putting out to anything else. It's dramatically different. The quality that they were doing, not like you put aside the content of murder and mayhem. It
Yeah.
just seems like they were on a whole nother level, and apparently paid on a whole nother level. Because like I have to like I'm trying to like verify this, but the page rate when Wood left,
Mhm.
he was getting like $200 a page.
Yeah.
And then he went to Marvel and he was getting $40 a page.
Yeah.
And he
It's
went to Daredevil. You know, it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like
I was just reading that there's a big Al Feldstein monograph that came out. Grant Geisman wrote it, and I was reading it, and it's talking about how Al Feldstein, when he first joined EC Comics, for like an issue of a comic book, you would get like what the equivalent of was like $11,000 in today's money. What's for like a single comic book? So like at EC Comics, he was like killing it. He was making so much money.
yeah. That's like,
Would have been a great company to work for.
what is a page rate for like an artist at one of like the big two right now?
I think it's like $25.
There's a website you can go to. I think it's called Fair Page Rates or something.
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Like a lot of publishers, it's like they'll give you $20 for a page or something.
I mean, and I don't want to be like, you know, an asshole, but it kind of shows with some of the art in comics now.
Oh, I have no interest in that stuff at all.
What's that?
I have no, like when I go to the comic shop, I struggle for something to buy. I'm like, I don't want any of this. None of this looks good. It's just not for me, you know. Like I'll buy like Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just like not much that I really want anymore.
I have
here's the Fair Page Rate.
Oh yeah, I just
page.
pulled it
so
up.
They do
Is
a
this the
survey.
website
The
you're
survey's
on?
from 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've got it up. There you go. So they say 80 to 100 for a script, 25 to 50 for indie. Covers are 600 to 700 at mainstream. Line art's 200 to 300. Color art's 800 to 135. Letters to 20. Mad paid pretty well per page.
Yeah,
Mad
they
paid
did
really well.
They did. Which company is that you're looking at? Does it tell you?
So they do a survey. So it's they put out a survey. This is from 2016.
Okay.
I think it's been a while since they've done one, but they do
it's cheaper than that now, as last I heard.
Yeah. The only thing really you have going for you now compared to like back then, I guess, is that you get to keep your artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a
and how many of those guys are doing it digitally now anyway? So it's like, what is the artwork?
Yeah, and that's a weird thing to do to yourself too. Like most of my income is from my original art sales. So it's like, if you don't even have that, then how do you live?
Yeah, I sold everything I did for Mad, all the originals pretty much.
Yeah.
But since then I've been working mostly digitally, and I do stop and think about that, like, if I drew this on paper, I might be able to sell it, you know?
Yeah.
I have a question. Is it hard to not get, or do you get sentimental about certain pieces and you're like, I'm not going to sell this, or is it just?
Yeah, I own some of like the first. I do a comic book called Blammo, and I've kept a lot of the early cover art for that.
Look, he's about to pull it out. Oh, it was...
and I did a comic also that that's just like about my son being born, and I'll keep that one. That one's very sentimental to me. I don't want somebody else owning it. Yeah, that's about it. I'll sell any other pages.
All right.
The thing is, when you do so much, like, I mean, I do more illustration than comics, but like, I just have like suitcases of just stuff, you know. It's like
I do zero
in the garage right now getting wrecked, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that stuff, it's like you're just doing it for money. It's like, you know, I don't know if you want to actually keep the artwork for that kind of thing, right?
But you know, there's other things in there too. You know, there's comics, there's drawings, there's sketchbooks, there's all sorts of stuff. And it's just, there's so much of it, you know. Well,
there's going to be an exhibit someday. Don't you think about that? Someday,
no.
of all your work.
You're gonna
If
be
I
like,
do some horrible crime, there might be.
Yeah.
well, that actually you'll be like Crumb, and you'll be living in like exile, social exile in France, and they'll ship out all of your artwork, and they'll hang it in a gallery. You know, it'll be
Yeah.
lovely.
I don't know. I did just pick up this postcard, so I'm gonna try and write him a letter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice vintage one. I have his address. I found it. I can get it from him, but someone posted a postcard with his address on it. Didn't like blur it out.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I mentioned it in the group. I was like, you should probably get rid of that. You know, you're giving
Yeah.
away his address. But
You
I
post it
did
on
keep
here,
it, so.
dox him.
Well, he's probably going through a pretty difficult time right now, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
I won't mention that.
Wait.
His wife passed away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aileen
Yeah.
died at the end of November.
Mhm.
That's what I
You
thought.
want to
And
know
then when
about
you
that?
said you
There's a
weren't going to
canonically
mention
Crumb
it,
episode.
You did an episode on that, Kyle?
I did. Yeah, I did. I got it out like
watched
2
that,
days after she died. I like spent like basically like 40 hours and 2 days making a video. And so I tried to do it. It was difficult because I had to kind of strike that tone that was not,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that was not too sad, but not too, you know, silly.
Yeah, I was pretty sad about that, and I remember I was like really sick at the time. And then like I saw somebody post like "Rest in peace, Aileen." I was like, no, like, already like with the flu sweats and just like, oh, yeah. I love Aileen Crumb. Like I love her. Her comics are hilarious. It's just terrible.
Yeah, I get a lot of messages like that. That video's like it's fast becoming my most popular video. People are always leaving like really nice comments on it. There was one asshole who was like really shitty about it, so I got rid of his.
Well,
stuff,
you're gonna
but-
get that if you run a Robert Crumb YouTube channel. You can get the
you know, I get all these right wing guys. Like I would expect like, you know, left wing people to be mad at me and be like, don't you know he's a racist or something?
yeah.
But you know, it's all right wing people that are like, how dare you like insinuate that he did anything racist? You know, Crumb is great. And I'm like, I made a whole channel about him basically. What do you want?
Yeah. Like this isn't a hate channel. This is
Yeah.
I just put a link to your YouTube channel, and everybody who watches this channel knows yours, right? They must. But in the video description, I put Noah Van Sciver. I put your YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go check him out. And also, I don't know how you feel about this. I also put your Big Cartel website on there.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah. So like some of the comics that you were talking about, like Blammo 10.5 coming soon.
That's coming soon. Yeah. That's a
Yeah. Wait, I have a question. If they wanted to buy your original artwork,
Mm-hmm.
do you sell that yourself, or do you like go through a place?
I have an art agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you just Google it, you'll find it.
All right, sweet. Just Google it, people.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to this. I know I keep taking you off the track here.
Hey, you're a guest. Okay. You guys are the guest. If you want to talk about whatever you want, we'll talk about it. Oh, fuck.
What happened?
Okay. Well, I get these comic bags that have like the adhesive, and I just put the Panic one on the adhesive. Fuck. You guys talk. I'm gonna mute myself and deal with this.
Those are actually kind of rare, eh? They're actually like I looked them up. They're pretty pricey.
What is the bags?
Those the Bob Powell panics, no, not the bags.
The
I mean, they might be two. I don't know.
Well, there's only 2 issues. Are there 2 issues or are there more?
I don't know how many issues they did. There's I've seen one other issue on the archive, and I saw that one that Patrick has. I saw that on eBay.
Yeah,
because he posted about it a few days ago that he was going to do this. So
now,
I love old humor mags.
Do you think it was intentional to use the word panic as the title of their magazine?
Yeah, I bet they're kind of stealing a little bit of the notoriety of EC. I bet they probably figured they couldn't get away with being like mad or something, or made with like a really tiny E or something.
They might have gotten a cease and desist. I wonder. From
That
EC.
maybe that's why they stopped. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gaines, he sent those out, right? Like he crushed Get Lost. I don't know if you've read that
Oh,
one.
no, I didn't know. No, I know I've heard the title, but I've never actually looked at an issue of that before. I didn't know he crushed.
Yeah, Esposito and is it Ross and Esposito, or is it Ross? I can't remember, but it's collected. You can get a book of it. But yeah, they did this thing, Get Lost. It was like a mad comic book knockoff, one of the ones at the time, and Gaines took them to court, and they won in court, but you know they lost in legal fees, and so it shut them down. And then they tried to get work at Mad, and they basically said, "No way, buddy. Good luck."
Yeah, I gotta look in. I'm sure I can find a copy of that book.
There's a Fantagraphics. There's a comics journal where they show like I think like a whole issue in it.
Oh, cool.
And they were also reprinted. I sent Patrick some reprints of it actually, with like different covers. Though they have they brought in different people to do the covers. So like what's his name? Bolin does a cover.
Brian Bolin.
Yeah.
Wow.
They had like a similar type of, well, not similar, but they went with the Mad thing where it's like you have the mascot, and so it was like this kind of goofy looking guy, and then like a voluptuous woman who would appear to. Yeah. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a note.
It really does look like Mad, you know, like they really do.
Oh, yeah, that looks like a Kurtzman drawing or an Elder drawing.
Yeah, it's probably like the most.
Who published that book? Is that Fantagraphics?
Hermes Press put this out.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna find that. That looks great. I'm interested in seeing that.
Fantagraphics put out
they put out like a
sincerest form of parody.
Yeah.
I think there might be some Get Lost in there.
And then there's another one that Craig Yo put out called Behaving
Madly. Yeah. That one's really good too.
Yeah, we'll check that out. I know my library has a copy of that one.
There's just too much stuff to buy.
I know.
It's it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, should we check out this Panic?
Yeah.
I feel like the other one was kind of a dud. I'll save it. I'll do it on another live stream when I'm by myself. So here's a Panic. Now here's where I fucked up too. I got this, and I guess this isn't totally on me, but the cover got torn like right away.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was
tape will fix that, no problem.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like partially detached, and then like when I opened it up, it just fell off the rest of the way, which is a bummer. But
what's on the inside front cover?
Oh yeah, here we go. This actually looks like a little bit of a dig at Mad Magazine.
Wow.
This is what we work for at Dark Savis.
Well, this is little one like this is a parody of an ad, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, I've never heard of it. See, this is why we need our advertising book. Well, I guess it wouldn't apply to that, but you know, they have a pretty similar. I mean, like, I guess how unique can your table of contents be?
Right.
Roses are red. Magazines too. Among them, Panic. New. Do you? I don't get it.
And this is the magazine of mirth and merriment and mirth.
Yeah.
As opposed to Archie, who was the mirth of a nation. That was on the covers.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, of like I don't know if it was Archie or the comic that he started in. I think it was Archie. Yeah, Archie, the mirth of a nation. That was like the slogan.
Wow.
Yeah, playing off on like the D.W. Griffith KKK.
No,
film.
I mean it can't really, because like.
Oh, Jack Davis did something for this. Angela Torres.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Angie Torres.
Wow.
What else?
I just saw Jack Davis's name in the indicia, I think so.
Yeah, no, you did. It's all the way at the bottom. I just zipped up just for a moment. Jerry Juvenile, Jay Alden, U.R. Kinsey, and then right here at the bottom, Jack Davis,
Harvey Kurtzman. Oh, what is this? Yeah, that's weird. It
Here,
just
let
says
me.
Harvey Kurtzman's name on the bottom. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, let's zoom. That's, dude, good eye. All right. So Bob Powell, managing genius, contributing Jenny, Jack Davis, Angela Torres, Martin Epp, Bud Schroeder, Jerry Garcia, Paul Nickel, Maynard Gould, Buddy Scott, typo blunders.
This issue was rejected by.
Oh, Ernest Hemingway, Irwin Shaw, Irving Golden, Harvey Kurtzman.
That's
So
a real
wait,
dig because like Kurtzman really like resented all of these knockoff comedy magazines, even Panic, you know, like the
Yeah.
like the EC one. Like
yeah,
he hated all that stuff.
I have to
1959.
I have to say I was looking at all the Panic covers, and um what a terrible situation to be in, like if you're Al Feldstein, to go up against Harvey Kurtzman
Mhm.
and to have to do the covers, and it's like
Oh.
your covers versus Jack Davis and Kurtzman. Like
man.
his covers were shit. It was
They were
horrible.
And it's a weird character. Like you can tell that's supposed to be like his Alfred E. Newman on the covers. It's like some dumb kid,
Yeah,
but it's ugly. Like it's not funny at all. It's just really
yeah,
dumb.
not ugly in the way that you would want it to be, where it
Yeah.
looks good but is also ugly, like a Basil Wolverton drawing.
Look at
It's
this
just
kid.
oh, here, hold on, I'll get you on the.
Yeah, look how funny he is. Terrible.
Yeah.
So I think Al Feldstein just couldn't draw funny.
Oh, that's like isn't that what the criticism that was leveled at what's his face?
Severin.
Right? He can't draw funny.
Who said that? Who said that about John Severin?
Kurtzman.
Kurtzman.
Oh, really? Huh.
Which like you would have thought they would have got along because like Severin did a lot of like war and Western kind of comics, and you know, Kurtzman seemed to like researching all that stuff, you know?
Yeah. But he just
And
wasn't a funny cartoonist.
I think it's perfectly fine. Like his stuff in Mad doesn't like jump out as like bad in that regard, in the humor regard. But these are kind of cool. Youth shoots off its big mouth. But I don't know who did it. Here, I'm going to zoom in on some of these.
I think they did credit people on the first page there. I don't know if you want to keep a bookmark in it.
I don't need a bookmark. The cover's gone.
Oh, perfect.
It's Angela Torres.
But wait, it says Macy's Ghastly Mistake.
Oh,
But are those like joke titles?
maybe they are.
They don't have like I think I have number 2 here. Or is this number 2? Panic? No, this is number 1. So you must have number 2.
All right.
So number 1 has not as good artists.
Wait, which one? Number 1 doesn't?
I think I'm looking at number 1. July 58 is on. Yeah, volume 1, number 1. And none of those names are dropped.
Okay. But I mean, this is like, I wouldn't guess that this is Angelo Torres.
No.
I like this a lot. Like these faces that he does.
Yeah.
These are pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I like that too. It looks good.
God damn it. I think the next thing I'm going to do is get a decent camera. Yeah, look at this weird, like, wormy guy. I love that. Little buck teeth.
So this came out about a year after the demise of Humbug, I guess. It's 58.
Yeah.
Or 50, 59, yeah.
Okay, so Kurtzman is out at Mad.
I guess he's starting Help around this time, right?
Yeah. Here we have a letters page already in the second issue. But maybe that, I don't know, maybe that's not maybe, you know, people wrote more letters back then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to focus on that because nobody gives a shit about letters except for me.
I like
Look
they're
at these
publishing art though. Or that's artwork. That's fun.
Oh, yeah. Elmwood Park, Illinois, entry for the Purple People Eater contest. Oh, that
Okay,
is
well he's
really
out.
fun.
Where's the horn? There's no horn.
One-eyed, one horn. It's that. That's a horn. It's a blunted horn, dude.
Yeah, even my 3-year-old knows that.
A horn can't be blunted.
No, but he knows who the Flying Purple People Eater is. He can sing the whole song.
Who are you criticizing right now?
This drawing. There's no horn. Where's the horn?
I've
like
pointed it to you. It's blunted. It's just, that's it.
That doesn't look like a horn to me. It's got a
I don't
wing.
know. For an artist, you sure are like really just very constrained in your thinking.
I'm very critical of
Yeah.
other artists. I hold artists to a high standard. So this is Torres here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Macy's ghastly mistake. Yeah. But even this doesn't, I mean, like, I guess he's using the style of the times, right?
He did the previous comic too, didn't he? Or was that somebody else?
I think that was somebody else.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it was though, because he's the first one that's given credit for something on that list. Oh, wait a
This
second.
looks like he's trying to do Elder a bit, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, he's fitting into the little Prince Valiant and the Tarzan, all those comics that Elder was so good at mimicking.
Well, also like the framing of it, just like the way everything's kind of piled up on each other. It feels like it's like the way an Elder drawing would be laid out.
Yeah. Have you guys, I don't, they don't make it anymore, but have you ever used the craft tint duotone stuff where you paint onto the board and then it reveals the hatching? Like
I never have, no. I've never seen it in real life.
Yeah.
I did use Zipatone. When I first started doing comics, you could still buy Zipatone at the art store. I've used that.
That's like the one you rub on.
Yeah, or the
stuff
that's this basically Scotch tape that you razor blade off.
Yeah,
I've used that too.
Yeah, I've used that before too.
Yeah.
Is it just? I have a question. Do you not use it because it's just hard to come by, or it just doesn't fit with your style now?
I would use it if I had some. I would definitely use it. You never see it. I don't even know if they manufacture it anymore.
They do in Japan, right?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you can get it from Japan.
Oh, okay.
Because they use it in manga like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to try. It'd be fun.
Get a coupon, you say? Is that what you said?
I said I'd like to try. It'd be fun.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like reproduction is complicated with that, like it has to be sort of like at that size or like the correct size that it's going to print at, or you get those weird moire patterns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The moire. I like that. Oh, I love that word.
Here's Davis.
Yeah, that's some Davis right there. Look at that.
Man, Davis was getting so much work. That guy was everywhere.
He was doing animation at that time too.
I just heard about that. I've never seen any of it before. Besides that, like Mad World intro, I've never seen any other Davis animated work.
It's like mostly commercials and stuff. Like he was doing like commercials. There's a razor commercial.
Oh, okay.
I put it in one of your intermissions, I think.
Yeah. What would he do? Would he just design them? Design characters like the way Paul Coker would, and then, I mean, he wouldn't animate, right? That's like a whole different craft.
I only know about it because after Help folded, Kurtzman tried to help Crumb out, and he tried to get him a job sort of assisting Davis on his TV commercials that he was doing at that time. So he was probably like he had an agent or whatever, or he was just working with whatever and was doing. I got to imagine he was doing like storyboards or something.
Man, that's something that I've never really heard Crumb talk about that much, like assisting Jack Davis, like working for him I want to know all the details of that, like what his office.
That's because he had to leave immediately because he couldn't keep up.
Oh, really? I know
Yeah.
that Kurtzman tried to get Crumb to help him with the backgrounds on Little Andy Fanny or something, and then Crumb couldn't keep up with that, or he wasn't good enough for it.
It depends. He tells it different ways. So there's some interviews where he says, so like the one in the Book of Weirdo, for example, he kind of says that like he spent a week trying to learn the watercolor technique, and then Harvey said like, you're not going to like doing this. You should just do your own thing. But then in I think the coffee table art book, he says I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how do you? I mean, I think Frazetta was working on that as well as the helping out Elder.
Yeah, it's Frazetta, Davis, Elder, bunch of people. There's Dark Horse put out a 2-volume collection that's like essentially.
I wish I could get those. Those are too expensive for me, man. Those
are they? They were cheap when I got them just a couple years ago.
If you look them up now, they're just, I think they're like over $100 or something each.
Oh, nice. I wish I could sell mine then, but
wait, did you say that it's a collection of help?
No, a collection of the Little Andy Fanny comics that.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So how could young Crumb keep up with those? I mean, you couldn't compete with those guys if you didn't work with them. Even though he was really amazing, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Well, he wasn't as disciplined, right? Like, I think it had a lot to do with the schools that they went to, because like so many of them came out of like that same like arts high school in New York, like Jaffe,
Elder.
A bunch of them went there. I think Elder went there.
Yeah.
They all just kind of knew each other, and they must have just learned like more like techniques there, like more commercial techniques.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably why. I mean, you see. I mean, like, what was it? It's like the New York slick style that was all in, like, all of those comics at the time, like the strips, that is. And then they're all able to, like, emulate the advertising art styles pretty easily, it seems. So, I mean, it does seem like there was a lot more formal training than Crumb had.
Yeah, like, I don't think Crumb had any art schooling at all.
No, he didn't. He's like an outsider. He learned his brother, basically, his kid brother, basically, like sadistically forced him to make comics as like a 6-year-old. And they learned everything as kids from looking at artists. So it's a different kind of learning. And I don't know, all those New York cartoonists, I mean, they're better technically.
Yeah.
They're incredible, but
in that Crumb documentary, wasn't there a scene where he was talking about how they, like the mail away art schools, they would submit like the tests to them, but they would be like, just draw these very grotesque versions of what they were asked to draw.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's like,
this guy's got
it's reprinted in the Family Comics.
Yeah,
you can get it reprinted there.
Oh, okay.
I think the only thing more impressive than Kyle's library is his ability to access.
I know, he knows exactly where everything is.
Anything, just
only things related to comedy, like Mad Magazine, basically, or Crumb. That I have organized. So all my Crumb is within reach here. I moved it here when I started doing the show because it was just more convenient. It's either here or I have all the floppies here.
So if I said like
stuff, I always just know where that is.
If I said like find, Mobius's, what was that, Blueberry? Could you find that?
I don't have any of that. Sadly.
You're a fan of comedy? You said like
of
movies and stand up and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say I'm I like stand up comedy. I'm not like a stand up comedy kind of guy. Okay. Or even like with films, I don't know. I like exploitation films mainly. Yeah,
I just listened to Mel Brooks's audiobook for his memoir that just was published. So I was asking, it's really good.
Okay, that'd be interesting. Mel Brooks, he's got a real he's got that kind of New York style too. So he feels like a mad guy to me.
Yeah, well, it's amazing because he's talking about like World War II, and you're like, fucking, he's like the last person alive who was up there. talking about it, and his recall is like so strong. He was like,
Does he narrate it too?
yeah,
Oh, wait,
he
okay.
reads it. It's fantastic. It's so interesting.
That's a weird thing. Is like I know it's not weird. It's just like a generational thing. Like all of the people who served in the military of that, it's like it's every man did.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know. Not everybody's tip of the spear, right?
Yeah.
There's like they're peeling potatoes. There's a whole reason. Beetle Bailey, that's like a real job in the military. But it does like when you're among a group of people like that, like thrown together, it's like I could see how that experience continues to affect like your artistry, your comedy, your whatever it is.
Well, and your style and stuff, because if you're an artist going into the military, then there's a good chance you're going to be using those skills somehow, because it's a pre-digital era. So they need people making signs, like you get off a boat, you need people painting signs immediately, tell people where to go and stuff. You've got propaganda, like Dr. Seuss did propaganda when he was in World War II.
Yeah. Well, Will Elder did topographical maps.
Yeah. And so they're like honing their skills and in like a way that's useful, where now if you were like, well, I'm a cartoonist,
I know, yeah.
you'd be like, okay, well, we'll put you up front.
Yeah, they'd be like, I don't know, fly this drone into a wedding.
Yeah, you can walk into fields to check for mines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Back then, those skills they were valuable. Like it was like, oh, you have a specialized skill, so what you're going to do in World War II is predetermined.
Yeah. Topographical maps, though, that's crazy. I mean, that's like you're just drawing lines, right? Like,
well,
now this one goes a little closer.
They would do models too, of like what the landscape looked like, so that they could plan out their attacks and stuff. There's like all these photos of Will Elder, the military, working on these maps, and
that's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's some weird stuff. Hey, check this out. I really like this touch. And this Jack Davis thing. Oh, Jack Davis, I wanted to say something else about. All right, so it's like things you're going to overhear when a boy and a girl are alone in the woods. And we have no.
Oh, no.
No.
Cancel this book.
Please not now. Let me go. Please be careful. No.
So people would just be like, yes, you will hear that.
Well, it's like in Greece, they sing a whole song about did you put up a fight?
Yeah.
Did you slip her? Did you slip her a roofie?
Wow, yeah.
Anyway, Bob Powell's not working in this town again after this.
No.
Davis and Powell, they're done.
Yeah.
Well, Jack Davis also did do like a comic strip about a Confederate soldier. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was really into that stuff, eh? Like I think there's even a bunch of self-portraits where he's got the cap on and stuff.
Yeah. What Dalton Vaughn called him the sweetheart of the South.
Yeah.
He coined that term for him, I think. I asked him, I was like, is that what people call him? He goes, I don't know, that's what I call him. But Jack Davis is like that. So I'm kind of getting more into like the EC stuff that I've never read before. And I'm so used to like comedic Jack Davis that it was kind of like blew my mind to see what he was doing at EC, like all of that war stuff. It was just so, I don't know, so different than what he does at Mad.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever see the Civil War comic that they did at EC, where it's like a collection of, I think it's Two-Fisted Tales maybe or something? And it's like they did like basically like a history of the Civil War.
Yeah, the cover is like they're like charging, and the guy's like, "Don't drop the stars and bars, boys."
Yeah, there's that one, and then the other cover for the other issue is Fort Sumter, where it's like a Kurtzman drawing, and it's like the guys in the fort, and the cannonballs bouncing off the water.
Yeah, they're skipping them in. Yeah.
So those two issues are like, that's like their Civil War. I mean, somebody now, since Fantagraphics is doing all that EC stuff, they should just collect that Civil War stuff in a hardcover,
Yeah, I could see why that would be like, I mean, you're doing a war comic, like
Yeah.
slavery aside. I
Mhm.
mean, it's a romantic story, right? Like, how do people describe it? Like brother fighting brother.
That's
You
right.
know, it's
Don't stop, wait, keep the stars and bars flying. It's the Confederate flag. Can you imagine that seeing that at a comic shop these days? Like, no fucking way.
no, certainly not. What is this? That corpse on the
Yeah.
Imjin book has a Dave Berg war story.
Really? He
Dave
was
Berg.
working at EC?
I don't know. I mean,
He was around in the golden age. I thought he was doing more like girly, like good girl kind of, not Tessie the typist, but that kind of thing.
Oh man, I can't
That's mostly where I see him.
yeah. I love Dave Berg.
People
He's
like
my favorite.
ironically like Dave Berg. Like nobody really just likes him. They like think it's like funny to like him.
You know, I used to be like you.
Really?
Yeah. But you know what changed me? And Kyle, I think, wrongfully argues this. Looking at like the lighter side of sucks, and I hate it, and I don't see it. There's like no redeeming aspect to it.
Yeah.
But I like his early stuff in Mad. I really enjoyed because it's like one, it's a lot more stylistic, and he like draws these women who are like frenetic and like shaking, and like the men always have like these weird like kind of creepy grins to them. Now Kyle is going to say something along the lines of, you only like that in like juxtaposition with the lighter side of, and the lighter side of is so bad that it makes the other stuff seem good to you. I don't agree.
I think the lighter side is consistent. I think it's impressive that he kept that going for so long into senility, especially.
Yeah, that's like, you know, I have an uncle like that where everybody's like, you know, I'm just impressed that he still can drink after all these years.
Oh,
Doesn't mean it was good.
I don't know. I think he's got some good ones, you know. They're fine, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's coming up with more jokes than like Martin or someone, you know. Some of them are good, some of them are not, you know. But I think, you know, it's a consistent style that's recognizable. You know, when you get sort of like lighter side at its like, you know, apex or whatever, when it's at its best.
When
you know,
would
it's
that
consistent,
be?
it's recognizable, it's iconic. You know, I think there's a lot of positive qualities to it, but you know.
All right, hold on a second now. Sticks McFly says the Dave Berg story is in Corpse on Imjim. I have that book. Let me go check really fast to see.
All right.
The story is
Hey,
called
why don't we take an intermission? I have to pee.
Fire Mission.
Yeah, should we do an intermission?
Sure.
Okie dokie. We're going to do an intermission here. Here, boop, boop. Folks, we are going to do an intermission. We will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I have to urinate. Kyle has to urinate. And Noah has to find this thing. So please don't go anywhere. Go tell your friends that Kyle Bridget, Patty McInerney, and Noah Van Sciver are on the internet together.
It's a gas!
Come with me.
Madre de Dios! The legends were true!
Yes, Bart. Whenever a teacher confiscates something, it ends up here. Salacious halter tops, complete collections of Mad, Cracked, and the occasional issue of Crazy, and this fake plastic derriere. And now, to show my gratitude, I want you to help yourself to an item of your choice.
I want to play. Cool. Now, could you help us put up the net?
Hello and welcome back. Hey, fellas.
Hello. Okay, so I found the book.
Oh,
Course on the Imogen.
yes.
And stuff. As a matter of fact, he was correct. That's Dave Berg's artwork,
Look at
and it's
that.
amazing. It's really good. So, I had no
I like
idea.
the pipe. You can tell by the pipe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the giveaway.
I can't believe it. I never realized that.
A little bit of Kaputnik.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that reminds me, Patrick. By the way, Ed, how's your mom? That's like a recurring joke in like Matt.
Hold on. Wait, how do I get... Huh?
That's a recurring joke in Matt. I forgot you said that at the beginning of the show. It just reminded me.
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about Ed as in... who is it? One of the people that watches the show is named Ed.
I mean, I say it to him too because of the name, but that's like a recurring joke in Matt, you know, like borscht or whatever.
Oh,
You know?
I don't know
This
that.
book, by the way, everybody should have this book.
Yes, the corpse. That's one of those Fantagraphics ones, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
It's all Kurtzman. You know, if it's not Kurtzman drawn, it's Kurtzman's layouts with other artists working on it.
Yeah, I don't have that one, but I do have a couple of the like your panic reprint that you were showing earlier. I have a couple of the Two-Fisted Tales or whatever they put out like that, and those are quite nice.
Yeah, those are real nice.
I really want to get all of the Cochrane EC stuff. That's kind of a goal of mine.
Yeah.
But
you should get all the Berg EC stuff now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here it is. Keep those. Whoop. Where is it? Yeah, take her, boy. Keep the stars and bars flapping.
Oh, that's what you meant by the stars and bars. I thought you were just talking about the regular flag.
No,
I was like, oh, I guess
no,
the Yankees really like their flags. Don't they still like their flags?
Yeah, we love our flags. Yeah, the stars and bars. That's like a common phrase for the for Old Glory.
I didn't know that. Oh, so Old Glory is not the regular flag.
No, Old Glory is.
Old Glory is the Confederate flag.
Yeah, the Confederate flag, which anybody in the South will also tell you. I lived in the South for a fair amount of time. It's actually a battle ensign. It's not a flag.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I live in South Carolina. We started the Civil War down here. This is where that shit started. Is right down here.
I love the pride.
I'm not even. I'm just a visitor here.
We started it.
Yeah, that's right. We started that. We said, "Fuck this." No, it's pretty wild. There's a church not far from me that apparently held like one of the first meetings where they decided they were going to secede from
the
country.
Listen, I know less about history than I do about comic books.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, real quick though, I went and while we were on it, because you brought up that cool, the bringing up baby.
Oh, yeah.
So I grabbed the Russ Cochran. And first off, when I was trying to find that, how do I get to my overhead thing? They need to like get it to like remember shit. This is so irritating.
Those are all actual titles of knockoff.
Yeah.
Mad
So
publications.
Oh, really?
yeah, it's kind of funny. And this stood out because I saw it Get Lost. And it says, "Dear readers, we interrupt this next story for a special announcement. I, your mad writer, am going to the bug house." And then, it just uses all these Flip, Get Lost, Madhouse, Nuts.
Yeah. There's a
Panic,
zany
Riot.
there. Probably not zany. There's Nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Madhouse.
It is kind of amusing that they would give all of these print space.
Madhouse was the Archie Comics one, wasn't it? Wasn't there an Archie Comics ripoff?
Yeah, Madhouse. But I think there might have been two Madhouses. I'm not 100% sure if this is the same one. But there's also a Jay Lynch, I think. I'm pretty sure Jay Lynch did a knockoff of that, like an homage to that Kurtzman page that like knocks all the other ones, talking about underground comics. I feel like I'm pretty sure it was in Bijou. It was in that really cool Bijou that looks like a Mad.
Yeah. With the Kurtzman cover?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is that story, by the way. That's so good.
Yeah. So Mad Mania is saying Kurtzman layouts. I think he's taken down Dave Berg a little bit.
Like that. That's amazing. This is just so good. That's hilarious.
I think we ended up looking at this last time you were on. We were both on.
It's my favorite one. Look how Elder nails it. Like his style is so good.
I gotta get rid of that. Yeah, it's something spectacular, man. Yeah, Will Elder.
They always got Elder to do the parodies when it was like cartoony like that. Like I think Elder did Popeye and
Prince Valiant,
Bring Up
Dick
Father.
Tracy.
I don't think he did. Didn't know if he did Dick Tracy, but he did.
I know he did in Mad Magazine. He did, like, because they would do the daily strips, and he would get all of them.
Yeah. But in the original sort of run of Mad, he would do those, and then usually you'd get Wood to do like imitating sort of like other styles as well.
Yeah.
What about in Humbug? Didn't Will Elder do some more comic book stuff in Humbug, like making fun of other comic books? Or was that earlier?
Yeah.
I have that slipcase. I should check those out.
I think yeah, I have that too. I'm thinking that was more Trump.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. Because he did Little Abner in Trump.
Yeah.
And I think his gas.
He might have done it. He might have done it in here too. I don't know. I'd have to flip through again. I don't have any good,
I was just looking at Humbug because Jack Davis's artwork in Humbug is like the best he's ever been. Like he's.
Oh, it is. Yeah, by far.
They have a collection of Humbug, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try to get Humbug and Trump collections.
Yeah.
Because
they're worthwhile. You got to have. I mean, the Humbug especially though is just like all of those contributors were at the top of their game. They just wanted that thing to work so bad.
They were owners, right? They were invested in a way that like they couldn't be in any other publication, So there is something like they really are trying their hardest, they care.
Yeah.
What was it? There was like a funny quote Hugh Hefner said, like, I gave Kurtzman an unlimited budget and he exceeded it.
Well, that Trump book, you go through that, like, because they did, I think, like 2 issues, and then there's an unfinished issue, and it's just insane. There's like fold outs,
Is that the one where Wally Wood did the big Disney picture, or was that
not
in a,
the not the underground one that became like the X-rated one that became like an underground blacklight poster.
yeah?
But the one where he did a parody of Disney, but he did it
Oh.
with cell shading. So he like
Yeah.
actually like drew it on cells and lays it out. And it's gorgeous. It looks perfect.
Yeah.
It
is pretty incredible. I talked to Dennis Kitchen about that because he put that book together, and it took so long to put that together. And by the time it was finally out, it was 2016, and having a book called Trump was like the worst thing. And it was just like
I was reading it actually I was having a beer and reading it on a lunch break, and people walk by and be like, "Oh, Trump, hilarious!" And I'd be like, "It's not that Trump.
I know, yeah,
it's the 50s."
So
it's funny, but not for that reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a beautiful collection. That's great.
Hold on. No, I forgot what I was going to say. Fuck. Never mind. Oh yeah, it's amazing. You going back to like when he did the Disney parody, not that cool porno one. How much, like, because I was looking at that, how much depth, like, you know, just a thin thing of cellophane or whatever that material is, just placed on a painted background, like how much depth it can create when it's like nothing, right? Like,
well, because it's casting a shadow, it's obscuring the layer below. You know, that's why like in an old cartoon, when someone like only the arm is animated, the color's never quite right.
Oh yeah.
And something about that creates like a real, like you kind of understand it as like really 3D, and you would never do it for a comic because it's not worth that much work, you know?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, that always ruin it for me. Like I'm watching a cartoon and it's like, hey, how come that spot on the floor is a different color than the other spot? And it's like the person falls through that spot. You're like, oh man. Like the gag was ruined. Like something's gonna happen right there. That's not a part of the background.
I felt like I was
You should have watched it on black and white TV.
Yeah, that's right.
I saw, like, I noticed that same thing. Like everybody notices it, but I felt like in on it because I was like, that door is gonna fucking open.
Yeah.
And then it would open, and yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's Daffy Duck. Wonderful. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Your guys were talking about somebody who is Crumb assisting those Trump guys. And
Davis.
Davis.
Assisting Davis. Well,
assisting
he was
Davis.
going to assist Davis, but couldn't.
Yeah, because he couldn't keep up. So I'm currently obsessed with Wallace Wood, and Larry Hama, the guy who did G.I. Joe, he worked as an assistant for Wally Wood. And I'm trying to get him. I've sent him a message on Facebook in hopes that he'll want to talk to me about Wally Wood. Because it's sort of like that thing you were talking about with the EC fanzine, where it's like, well, there's like nobody left. It's like, well, who has worked with Wallace Wood? Well, fucking Larry Hama has. I don't know if he would, you know. I think that'd be cool to talk with him though, to like get a sense of what this guy was like. I'd like, cool. I'd be like, I'm not going to ask anything about Snake Eyes origin. I don't want to know about Shipwreck. I really want to know why there wasn't a CB G.I. Joe, but you know, I'll let it go. I won't talk about it during the interview. But
man, Larry Hama had an amazing career. I was looking at those. There's like these old horror magazines called Castle of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And I'd be looking through there, and there'd be like a comic in there. It was like drawn like a little cartoon, and it'd be signed Larry Hama. On Facebook, I posted it like, "Is this you, Larry?" And then everybody chimed in even before he did. Like, yeah, when he was a teenager, he used to draw comics for this magazine and all stuff. Like, it's been around forever, you know.
Yeah.
It was like the 1960s.
That's another dude, right? He went to Vietnam.
Yeah, that's right.
And he came back and he was like, I want to tell stories.
Yeah.
Is there a cartoonist go to war book? That would be a fun book.
So you know the guy Patrick Rosencrantz who did like Rebel Visions and stuff? He's kind of like the scholar on underground cartoonists.
Yeah.
I asked him one time, like, did any of those guys fight in Vietnam? All those cartoonists, and it's like, no, each one of them had some kind of deferment or like they got out of serving in some way. Like none of them were drafted. It's amazing. They
For
were
being
all draft
active,
dodgers, or they were 4F or whatever. Like none of them had to serve.
LSD was their Vietnam. That's it.
Yeah.
That was their World War II. Was
Crumb
LSD.
I think Crumb was 4F, wasn't he?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that yet.
I mean,
I haven't come across that.
I think there's
plenty he couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's plenty of reasons why Crumb shouldn't have served.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, well, that's like the thing about like military service in general is like most people don't do anything violent, right? Like I was in the Navy. I got to like play with guns. I got to shoot guns. I trained on them, but I never saw anything.
Yeah.
Most people in the Army don't see anything. It's actually why, you know, I shouldn't say like with certainty, but a lot of the times, like the largest amount of people I think who have PTSD aren't people who are like combat soldiers, because combat soldiers sign up to be combat soldiers. They volunteer for that. So it's like there is some level of mental preparedness versus when you're living on a forward operating base and you just have like this imminent fear all the time, and like something gets blown up every once in a while, like that fucks with your psyche because you're like, I'm just here to peel fucking potatoes.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah. But so like even if they didn't serve, like, well, I mean, if they didn't serve at all, but like if you think about the guys who did go to Vietnam or did go to World War II, it's like it's an experience that shapes you, and it keeps informing everything about your life, I think, because it's usually at like the most formative time of your life. You know, you're 18 years old, 18 to 24, and then you go home.
There's also a process to like sort of really like to structurally change you as a person, right? Through like, you know, boot camp and training and everything. So
yeah,
I mean, you couldn't be the same person. It's not like if you spent a couple months at the Walmart or something, you know, working there.
Yeah.
Although that changes you too, probably.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Well, yeah.
What's up, Noah? What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you more questions about that, but then I was like, well, I don't know if I should take us off in another direction or if we should get back to Panic. I don't know, like what.
Well, no, ask your question.
Well, he didn't see any combat, so like he might have PTSD. That might be what's telling us here. So we probably shouldn't.
Well, no, but do you keep in touch with the guys that you served with? Like,
yeah, I haven't talked to some of them in quite a while, but yeah, there was a time like where we kept in touch. But I mean, it's hard. Like once you get out, you know, you start families, and you know, it's hard to like keep in touch. I don't know. I know some people, like a buddy of mine who was Marine, like he's really close with like everybody he served with. But my dad, who was a Marine in Vietnam, like he came back, he didn't talk to anybody he served with.
Wow.
Like, but that was also a different thing because my dad was a combat veteran. So I don't know, that experience is. I was a goofball. I was in like, you know, McHale's Navy. Like that, my ship was like McHale's Navy.
Well, your last episode, you said you spent the last few months of your military career or your Navy career in prison.
No, it wasn't prison. It wasn't prison. It was like it was like jail.
It's military prison.
Yeah. No, because like prison is long term, jail is like short term.
Okay.
But yeah, my ship, the guy that my ship was named after, the legend goes, it was Admiral Carney. I was on the USS Carney, DDG 64. Then I left that and I went to the Seabees, but he was alive when they named a ship after him. And he goes, that's fine. You can name a ship after me, but you can't put women on it.
Whoa, really? Wow.
Yeah. So it was like one of the last U.S. Navy ships to not have women on it.
Wow.
I would have wanted to have my name on the ship that had women on it. I would have been like, can I get on one of the women ships, please?
As an insult. If I didn't have women on me in life, I'm not going to have one on me.
Yeah, it's just basically being like, ooh, girls.
Yeah.
No, thank you. These oysters are great.
If I didn't have women on me in life, I won't in death.
Yeah, exactly. I won't do that.
Oh my god.
Dudes only, please.
Yeah. But it was, listen, a ship full of dudes is a good time. All right. That's all I'm going to say, fellas.
The SS MGTOW.
Make sure. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's depressing.
Damn, dude. You got all the zingers today. All right. Here we go. We can get back into it. And like honestly, if you don't feel bad taking us on a tangent.
It's better than this dreck.
What's that?
Tangents are better than this dreck we're looking at.
Hollywood
and I love these
mistletoe
conversations.
technique. What's that
Say
mean?
that again.
Hollywood mistletoe technique.
Oh.
Close. Oh, so it's zooming in close for a kiss.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, they did love that craft tint paper, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody had that.
Well, yeah, that's like, I mean, there's like overuse of it.
Mhm.
And I mean, like, you know, who am I to be a judge of an artist? Right. But like this is like pretty overused. But like when it's used like right, I feel like it does, it's like really, really cool. And it adds like a pretty neat effect to the artwork.
Mad
But
was a
this
little
is like,
more sparing with it than like Cracked
Yeah.
or this.
Yeah.
yeah. And it is, I think it's really cool when you see stuff like craft tint stuff that's colored. Because you can see some of that in like the Mad comics. Yeah, they go ape on it. And look at this guy had like, this dude had the real fancy paper where you could expose it twice and get the perpendicular lines.
Oh yeah. Huh. I wonder if so you can get that stuff still from like Japan? They still
Well,
manufacture that?
I think I don't know if they make the paper anymore. I think it's like, it's maybe available. This guy that works at my comic shop had some, and he was playing around with it, and he was trying to develop, like concoct his own developer, and that didn't have, because like the developer you use has like mercury and lead in it.
Oh shit.
So it's like, it's pretty bad. And so he was like developing his own developer for it. And I actually have a sheet of it that he drew on, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I could find it, but probably not very quickly.
You know Ed Pisker?
Yeah.
He had some, what I heard that he did was he just developed a full sheet of it and then scanned it in, and then like on Photoshop dropped that pattern in on his original art and like, you know, subtracted whatever, so to make it look like he was using it in the comic, but he wasn't. He was just like dropping that layer in.
Yeah. He seems like pretty adept at like mixing the digital and not analog, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, just like traditional art. He's been posting some cool stuff on Instagram of like his process pictures. I don't know, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, he's a great cartoonist.
Dude, I don't know. Have you read his new comic, The Red Room?
No, I haven't read that yet. Is it good?
It's just so fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's gruesome. It's, you know, and I want to like, I like him, and so it's like I want to give him some money. But it's like I can't really enjoy this at a certain point. But
I don't know. I haven't even seen a copy of it in real life.
Yeah.
I haven't actually like read it, but I've flipped through quite a bit of it and looked at like the fucked up artwork, which is pretty cool. You know, I do like ugliness and looking at it and stuff, but I haven't really read it too much. At first I felt like there wasn't enough sex in it, you know, to kind of like offset the gruesome violence. I feel like those things complement each other nicely, and they kind of make the violence go down a little smoother.
Yeah.
But Seems like he's getting more sexy with it, I guess. So I don't know. I mean, I might read it one of these days, but it looks great. But it's very shocking imagery.
It is. That first issue is actually kind of there's like a sweetness to the story that I wasn't expecting. But no, I think I actually have like 3 copies of the first issue. So if you want one, I can send you one.
Send one my way.
Yeah.
I'd read it.
I told you to keep your big mouth shut. I don't know. This is like
what the hell is this?
it's called People We Should Have Listened To. I Told You So. So this is the coffin one. The caption says, I told you that Russian roulette game was fixed.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
You think did they come up with the gags first, or did they just draw a bunch of pictures and they were like, It seems like you could do better if you did it that way.
Oh man.
I mean, I like this panel.
I like the
really
artwork.
Cool. Yeah.
I told you to stop watching television so much. Like, I feel like that's not like if that guy was looking at a TV and his eyes look like that would be a funny visual gag to accompany some other joke.
Yeah.
But it's like not a joke in and of itself, you know?
Yeah, I told you this was no place for a picnic. But he's swimming.
No, he's sinking in quicksand.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
I like some of the open, like, sort of areas of, like, where there's no tone, like, especially on that one where the guy's in the full body cast. You know, it's like it seems like there's no outline to that bald guy's head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You know who was really good with that stuff was Roy Crane. If you look at that Buzz Sawyer strip he was doing, all with the craft tint. He did, amazing.
It's,
like the way that, like, the woman in that top panel, like, the way, like, it looks like her legs aren't outlined at all or whatever.
Yeah, that's nice.
It has a really kind of like soft contrast effect.
Yeah, there's like some brush strokes for like up here, but yeah, like around the knee, there's nothing. It does look really cool. The thing is, like, I don't know how it seems like a totally different level of visual thinking. Like I was looking at I think it was like the cover of a book that was kind of like that, where the only brushed in things were like just parts of the bird's wing, and then everything else was like this kind of gray wash that just created the rest of the bird. And it's like, how do you decide what's going to get lined out? And
that's why pencil's good.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I just imagine everybody, like when I was a kid, I didn't realize artists used reference. It was actually the oh, were you laughing at one of these?
Love thy neighbor, but leave his wife alone.
Proper play.
It has like a real kind of tisk kind of tone.
Yeah.
You can't take it with you. We got 2 guys watching the door.
Well, I mean, this does remind me of like in the Midwest, this happens where you get like people who get like the sassy signs where it'll be like, you know, live, laugh, love. But then there's another thing where it's like this kind of little punchline to it. It's like I've seen things almost identical to this.
Yeah.
You know?
It reminds me of like the like, it'll be like a grenade and it'll say complaints department or something.
Take a number. Yeah. And then it's attached to the pin.
Yeah.
What is this? There's a pot of gold at the end of every rainbow. But what can you do with a pot of gold?
What can you do with a pot of gold?
What can you do?
I'm taking it to Wells Fargo.
You can do anything. You can change your life with a pot of gold.
Yeah. The fuck? Stupid
idiots. God damn.
Is that like, I wonder if that might be a reference to like maybe to
a pot of gold
sort of thing. Like, what can you do with a pot of gold? Maybe that was like a thing back then.
Like what would you do for a Klondike bar?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way I can think that it would make any kind of sense.
Yeah. You guys, we had like 17 people watching. And then we got confused about what you can do with a pot of gold, and a bunch left. But if you're watching and you haven't already, please hit thumbs up. Yeah, that's all. Anyway, how about this? Oh, look at this. This is a military one. Semper Fidelis and all that jazz.
Is it?
All right.
I mean, and all that jazz was probably just kind of like a popular kind of, like almost like a meme or something almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard it. I think my mom used to say that and all that jazz.
Yeah, I've used it, you know, like,
I still say it, yeah.
But I wonder if maybe it was a contemporary reference then, you know?
Yeah. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. T. Manville. That's a reference to somebody.
Yeah.
Some womanizer, I guess. That would be
Mhm.
that'd be my guess. I don't know.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Hold on. Zoom
The
out.
Severin?
Powell.
Powell, okay.
Yeah, there's a signature down there.
There you go.
Can you guys see this okay, or do you want me
Yeah.
to zoom in and just scan around?
I mean, I can't really see the details for it. I might actually, I'm going full screen here.
Yeah, move closer.
That would have worked better if I didn't have a Cintiq down here that I had to get over.
That's great.
Yeah, look at there's like.
Are you going to use the word, Patrick?
Is this a Wimmo builder?
What is that?
Well,
It's a
I'm glad
German
you
word
asked.
for a busy picture.
Oh.
It comes from the root word Wimmel, meaning world, and builder, meaning builder.
Meaning picture.
Picture.
You know, this would be really
I taught it to Patrick, and he used it like 18 times in one episode. It was very, very grating. That's not a very good Mickey Mouse. That's like a.
I was looking at it. I actually like it, even though it's not good. I like it. It looks good.
It's always so funny when people draw Mickey Mouse, but they don't realize it when he's inside profile. It's like that one ear's on the very top of his head and one's on the very back.
Oh, yeah.
Like an L. And he always looks really weird if you.
Dennis the Menace down there.
There's Frankenstein.
He's got like a 5 o'clock shadow, though.
Who, Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that Fred Flintstone mouth.
Here, I gotta hold on.
That's great. I would really hate to have to draw something like this.
Oh, this is all I want to do. Like, this is what I would just.
Oh, man.
This is all I ever want to do is just draw busy pictures, but they take so long and there's so few opportunities to get paid to do them. But yeah, this is just my favorite thing to do.
Hey, can't you do one for Freaky?
Groucho. I mean, I could, but it's a lot of time.
Dude, that'd be a cool 2-page spread. Oh man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ooh, the latest issue of Freaky, Andrew Goldfarb said he just got it all done. All the layouts are done.
Oh, nice.
You were in Freaky, Noah?
I was. Yeah, I love Freaky. It's great.
Yeah. Oh my God damn it. Hey, I have a question. Like when I bump this thing, does it make a lot of noise? This is like for you don't.
No.
Okay. All right. That's good. I just got this and I'm freaking out about it. I think I'm in over my head. That's all. And it's sort of like preoccupying my mind.
When you move it, it does like a that we hear.
Yeah. That's like, do you see this? I put a paper towel in there so that it would kind of dampen that. I think I need to get a new arm.
Oh.
Here we have unsung heroes of American history, and I know already this is going to be controversial.
Yeah.
Some classic racism and tits too.
Yeah. Here's Tyrone.
Oh, geez.
Gee.
Where did you say? This is a family show. I'm not going to show any breasts, but where are they?
Go up. Now zoom in on those breasts.
Oh, I see them. Okay. Here's
I remember every breast I saw in a humor magazine as a kid.
listen. I still remember the breasts that I see, the cartoon ones. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm sorry, guys. I got to work on editing myself a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not even like, I like looking at the pictures, but this is the trap that I fall into with a lot of like humor magazines, Mad included, is that it's too many words.
Mhm.
I'm not going to read that. I can't be bothered.
Well, I started reading Mad before I could read, right? Like, so, you know, I learned to read while reading Mad, you know? So it's like there's tons of stuff in Mad that I couldn't read, you know? But Mad worked because you had Sergio and Spy versus Spy and all that.
Yeah. Well, I still don't read it. Where you learned to read, I just decided I'm not even going to bother.
Great
There's
job.
Oh, here's
Davis
some more
again.
Davis.
Huh.
Is that Powell again on the Xmas cheers?
I don't know. I don't see a signature on it.
Did Bob Powell do anything for Mad ever?
I could check. I got the
I'll
Mad
look it
cover
up.
site.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Because we're already after midnight on my end here.
Oh, geez. Holy smokes. Should we wrap this up soon?
Yeah, soon.
Yeah. All right. Do first down.
Rich Powell, Eric Powell. No Bob Powell. Unless I'm misspelling it.
I was looking at was that the Casey at the Bat that Davis did for Mad Magazine. It's just like, it's awesome, man. He's cool. Like the proportions he does for his comedic stuff, it's just,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's fun. He's a funny artist.
he is.
Yeah,
One of
he's
the-
really funny. Have you ever seen any of his like Sesame Street?
Yeah,
books?
those
He
are
illustrated like
amazing.
some Sesame Street books.
Yeah,
No.
so good.
Yeah, it's funny because he does a reality street in Mad
Mm-hmm.
in the 60s or 70s, whenever it was, and then he ends up like basically drawing that same style Sesame Street books.
Yeah, they must have seen that, right? I mean, it's
Well,
interesting.
I don't think so because he screws up the characters in the Mad one like repeatedly.
really?
It's like, and I guess maybe just the characters weren't as iconic then,
Yeah,
and he was a grown man. But
yeah.
you know, my
Like, what
dad used to take acid and skip out of high school and go watch Sesame Street when it came on. So, you know,
Yeah. Well,
that
there's
was his world. That was his combat training.
a lot of like interesting art, like in those early Sesame Streets, like the animation and stuff like that. That was good. You know?
Kurtzman did a bunch.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he's there's one about a pirate. It's like a pirate counting. He's like counting all the numbers out to get onto a boat. I think 40.
Oh,
He's
it's hard to
counting
get
out 40 of
copy
them?
it. I think it's 40. I can't remember exactly.
oh, I'd like
These are hard to find.
Oh, here I can.
But it's
There
like
we go.
season 1, season 2.
Who is that guy? You guys help me remember. The little strong man.
Oh, he's
I gotta write that
something
down
super
again.
guy. He's
Yeah, this.
On the
super-
amazing super guy.
Yes, the one in the cup. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to remember that for like so long. I'd be like, I'd search on the internet. I'd be like, little paper man in a cup, paper man sink counter. It's like nothing shows up because
He's like a little super guy or something.
Yeah.
The one I always forget is like the typewriter, the weird typewriter with the big arms.
Mm-hmm.
Little cartoon, little red typewriter. He's like a
I
little
don't
robot.
remember that.
That one really spoke to me.
Now they
Yeah.
have Elmo's World, which is like a thing. We let our son, you know, like we had to change his diaper. We need to like distract him somehow, so we put Elmo's World in front of him. You know?
Yeah.
That's like the last like 15 minutes of Sesame Street now, I think.
Yeah, it's like an anime. It's like in front of a green screen the whole time. Like you know, it's like it's just a puppet in front of like no real background. And he's
Yeah.
a smart
Is there
guy.
like,
got, like, a
isn't it
fish
on
and
like
stuff.
HBO? Didn't HBO buy Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Which is,
I watched it
that
on
seems-
Canopy with my kid. Like now
We
he
don't
doesn't
have
watch
that.
Sesame Street,
That's
but
another Canada thing. We don't
you
get
guys don't
that.
have Canopy.
Canopy. It's Canada P. They don't have it
Well,
there.
it's library. It's libraries. It starts with a K.
It's like canola oil. We don't get that. That's
Yeah,
a
we don't have
Canadian thing. We use vegetable oil.
I thought Canopy was international.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
no, it's we have that here too.
Oh, is it?
Okay,
I was
yeah.
being serious. I assumed
no.
it was one of those
It's a
goofball
Yeah,
things.
it's a streaming service, and you sign in with your library card.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, I actually want a little bit more information about this. So
you can
I'm
watch
gonna have to look it up.
two movies as an adult, but if it's a kid stuff, you can watch it as much as you want.
Oh,
It's like a kid's account.
Nice.
There's a couple seasons of Sesame Street on there that I saw all the episodes of many times.
Well, I bet I don't know. Maybe they still own the streaming rights. Not the streaming rights, like the old shit. Maybe they can still do. Look at these things are kind of weird. Masks and Men. Gilbert the Ghoul.
Huh. What's the joke here?
I don't know. I just like the pictures. You're asking me to read it? Are you tired of being a wall weed? Do you look forward to the New Year's Eve party with dread because you're such a schlemiel? Stop fretting. Here's your answer. That's another mad thing they kind of lifted, right? Using the Yiddish type things like schlemiel.
Yeah, right.
Here's your answer. If you fall into one of these categories, buy one of these party masks, and you too will be the death of the party. Victor the Vampire is for you if nobody laughs and screams at your jokes. Wear this mask and sip borscht from a glass while you tell your jokes, and you'll have them screaming, all right.
That's really playing on Mad. Like I even mentioned borscht earlier as like a recurring Mad kind of gag.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
and
especially
this is like
funny.
This is 59. This is like right off the back of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think there's just mostly the pictures to admire. If I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, like this magazine really feels like there was just a market for humor magazines, and so I just put them out.
Yeah.
Regional American dishes. So they're just illustrating the puns. I mean, the illustrations are nice.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like it's sort of what would the Paul Coker, he would do the horrifying cliches, but at least it was like, I don't know, there was a lot more creativity to it than just peas with black eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it wasn't so literal in the illustration.
Though I do like the illustrations.
Yeah, they're fun. Look at crab cakes are angry. I wonder if they did sauerkraut, and it's
I bet he went with angry because he had two shellfish. He had shellfish on the rows, both above.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, listen, guys, we've been going over 2 hours.
Okay.
I think shall we? Wait, look at this. This is like
Orheck. That's Don Orheck doing
Don Martin.
Oh my God.
That's what the signature is, right? Orheck?
Yeah, Don Orheck. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Boy, you know just about every illustrator.
Yeah. That's like shameless. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's obviously like he was willing to do that. And I mean, I like Orheck. I don't love it when he's just like ripping off Don Martin.
I wonder what the page rate was for this magazine.
200.
Yeah, in 1950s money. You buy a car, start a family.
You buy a wife and a house and a car.
Yeah.
All right, I did 5 pages. I'm gonna retire.
All right, man.
Hey, how about this though? Do you know? Are you going to be in the next issue of Freaky?
Me?
I believe I am.
Yeah, you know.
I don't have anything.
You don't?
Have anything.
All right. Well, Kyle came up. Oh, fuck. I did it again. God damn it.
That's the other issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I fucking hate those bags. This is why I collect books and not comics, because it's like I don't like the bags. I find them inconvenient. I just want to get the comic out,
Yeah.
you know, and then you get them stuck to your comics.
Yeah. Well, I am now, like, because space is at a premium. I'm coming around on books and collections.
I think books take up more room, though.
Oh shit! No, they don't. There's not. No, it's not possible.
Really? I
Yeah,
mean, it's like same amount of pages, but then there's a cover.
No, well, it depends.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
long
you're
boxes,
right, I guess.
long boxes just don't look good in a space.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing.
True.
Yeah, I got a bunch of. I buy the short boxes because I feel like they're more visually appealing. But yeah, it's just like it's more and more and more and more space. Kyle had a good idea, which was the next time a Freaky comes out, to do an artist stream of Freaky and have people on who are in the issue. You're not in the issue, so I'm sorry you're not invited.
Well, I'll watch. Yeah, I wish I had a time, or I didn't have any time to do it.
No, but I mean, if we do that, you are more than welcome to come. It's a blast having you on here, man. I love the conversations.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And I love the.
And I really
tangents.
do want to get that Crumb episode done with you soon. It's
Sure.
just
Yeah.
I never figured out how to do the record it, and so I've just been thinking about that, and then I end up making another episode.
I mean, it's like it seems so like I'm just happy to be able to do this right now. Like it's like it's so rare to get a chance to even do this kind of thing. I haven't been up this late in 2 years, so.
Listen, I saw you yawn.
How old's your kid too?
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's like a year and a half, but yeah, it's just been 7 o'clock. We go to sleep around here.
Yeah,
brutal.
Yeah, I try to stay up late, and then I bribe my children when they wake up, and I'm like, just you can watch some Looney Tunes. Just go do that, please. Just let me sleep.
Yeah, I'll be doing that too. As soon as you.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten 6 hours sleep in the last I mean, cumulatively, but not in a row for 3 years. It feels.
Yeah.
But you guys, yes, Noah and Kyle, thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. It was what a treat to have you stop by. If you guys haven't already, check the video description and follow Noah, follow Kyle, go buy some comics, and have a wonderful, I'm talking really slow so I can get to the intro thing. Have a wonderful evening. Toodaloo.